Here's your wrestling news for November 4th, 2022, and we're kicking off with CM Punk, and ever since AEW All Out, there's been big questions about whether he'll jump to WWE. Punk and WWE have no shortage of issues with each other, but those comments were made by WWE's previous regime, which changed following Vince McMahon's retirement in July. Now, Triple H is running creative and talent relations, and while he's not exactly Punk's biggest fan either, he could be responsible for bringing him in. In a video interview, The Game was asked about the CM Punk situation and isn't entirely opposed to bringing the problematic former AEW World Champion back into the fold. Look, I think at any point of time, somebody in this business has thought anything like, people say, would you take the call? I don't know if I can think of anybody in the business that if they called me, I would take their phone call, whether in the business or whatever, and I would answer the phone. I think we would have a conversation. But again, CM Punk worked with us on the Fox show, a year ago? And there was opportunities there, and there were people around each other at all times. Again, I'll never say never, but the desire needs to be there at all sides just to make things happen. CM Punk's run in WWE infamously ended in January 2014 when he walked out of the company, and he was sent his termination papers that June on his wedding day, an unlucky coincidence according to Vince McMahon. With Punk's career with AEW seemingly up, WWE will likely be the only home for him if he still wants to wrestle, and despite their differences, Triple H is at least willing to talk business. It's been reported that AEW is looking to buy out the remainder of CM Punk's contract so that they can release him, and they haven't even spoken to Punk since the All Out fight. Punk's high-dollar asking price will keep him out of the indies, and WWE is likely the only company that can afford him, but that's even if Punk wanted to come back at all. If Punk is open to a WWE return, he may be disappointed, as when Ringside News asked around, a source within WWE said that higher-ups aren't discussing a return yet. The only talk about CM Punk is among the talent, the writers, the producers, the TV production people, and everyone thinks he's poison. Look what he did to the happy and motivated locker room of AEW. One source, who chose to remain anonymous, added that WWE are well aware of how Punk's AEW run went and believe that there was relative harmony in Tony Khan's company until Punk came along. That same source summed up how CM Punk is viewed within WWE with just one scathing word: poison. While Triple H is open to talking with Punk about a deal, that all hinges on if Punk would be willing to return to WWE, but even if he does, the poisonous Punk shouldn't expect a warm welcome. But what do you think? Should WWE bring Punk back, or is he more trouble than it's worth? Let us know in the comments. More now from WWE, who are just over a day away from their annual Crown Jewel event. There was once a time where women were banned from these shows, but that is no longer the case, as tomorrow's event will see a total 6 female superstars compete, including all of Damage Control. On Twitter, Bayley shared a photo of herself, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai, and it's clear that all three are ready to capture championship gold. Sky and Kai will challenge new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Alexa Bliss and Asuka, while Bayley will take on Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair, and we'll have to see if Damage Control can leave with all the gold in Riyadh. Tomorrow's event will be the latest high-profile show from Saudi Arabia, but there have been some serious questions as to whether it will go ahead at all. It was reported on Monday that the Saudi Arabian government have informed the US that they are expecting an attack by Iran, which is said to be imminent. When PW Insider reached out to WWE, they were told that the show will go ahead as planned, but that they are keeping regular contact with the State Department just in case. It's also been reported that WWE have been informed that even if an attack does happen, it will not be anywhere near Riyadh, where Crown Jewel is being held. There will undoubtedly be very strict protocol to guarantee the security of everyone at the event, both those working for WWE and the fans in attendance. WWE's Saudi shows are often the source of controversy, and this year's Crown Jewel is proving to be no exception, and for many on the card, they'll be happy the sooner they're back in the US. It was reported yesterday by the Associated Press that what's being called a credible threat on Iran will be carried out within the next 48 hours, if not sooner. This is a very tense situation for all involved, but as far as Iran are concerned, the claims being made are entirely inaccurate. When asked for a statement, Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Nasser Kanani refuted the claims that they will be attacking Saudi Arabia. Kanani also denied similar claims that an attack would be launched at Ibris in Iraq, calling the allegations baseless, adding that the Iranian government is focused on diplomacy within these regions. Iran have said that the US, Saudi Arabia, and Israel are to blame for the increasing unrest within its country, and these threats come at a time of national protests over the killing of a woman by the country's morality police. WWE Crown Jewel will go ahead as planned, with security protocols and emergency contingencies in place, and the new regime in the company will have their work cut out for them tomorrow night. One huge match, and we mean that literally, will see Omos face Braun Strowman in the latter's first premium live event since returning to the company. Omos will look to slay the monster among men in Riyadh, but he'll have to do so without his manager MVP by his side. PW Insider reports that MVP has not made the trip to Crown Jewel, and when sources were asked, it was said that the former US champion didn't feel comfortable traveling. MVP is hardly the first superstar to feel this way, as stars including Kevin Owens, John Cena, and Daniel Bryan have all refused to participate in the past. While MVP's exact reasons for being uncomfortable are unknown, there is always controversy over how Saudi Arabia treats women and LGBTQ+ people, as well as the Saudi government's alleged involvement in the killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. When you factor in the possible threat by Iran, it makes a lot of sense why MVP doesn't want to go, so we'll have to see if Omos can get the job done without its manager by its side. One name not booked for Crown Jewel is Austin Theory, despite being the current holder of the Money in the Bank contract. It was earlier this year that Theory was regularly featured in Raw main events as the protege of Vince McMahon, but ever since McMahon's retired in real life, Theory has tumbled down the card. While speaking on Legion of Raw, former WWE writer Vince Russo blasted WWE for making Austin Theory mean so little and made that clear to co-host Chris Featherstone. "You're beating the guy continually that has the Money in the Bank case. Chris, what's the point of having the case then? That's supposed to be a threat that when that guy cashes in the case, it's game over. But when you're losing every single week, I don't get it, Chris. I don't understand it." Well, I think it's safe to say, and Chris, if you disagree with me, please disagree with me, Theory means nothing right now. I mean, absolutely nothing. It has been reported that WWE is considering having Theory wait until the last day before he cashes in the Money in the Bank contract, and while there may still be many months between now and his cash-in, the cocky heel could still do with picking up some wins. What do you think WWE should do with Theory? Should he cash in soon, wait until next July, or should someone win the briefcase off him? As always, let us know in the comments. Over to AEW now, as this week's Dynamite saw another tease for the return of the Elite in a video that alluded to a future feud with Death Triangle. The video saw Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks being replaced by the reigning AEW Trios champions, but the Elite were also backstage. PW Insider were the first to report that Omega and the Bucks were behind the scenes at this week's Dynamite, but it's unclear if they were present on work, business, or just visiting. Whatever the case, this is the Elite's second appearance both in an on-screen vignette and backstage in 2 weeks, and it's been reported that their in-person return to TV will be imminent. With the investigation into the all-out fight over, it's clear that what was found out cleared Omega and the Bucks, so it may not be much longer before the Elite get a title match for the belts they never lost. And we're ending with our tribal chief Roman Reigns, who has dominated WWE as champion for over 2 years now. Reigns' tenure on top has been the most dominant run for a champion in decades, and the head of the table is approaching yet another milestone. It was at TLC 2019 that Reigns suffered his last pinfall, losing to Baron Corbin at the event, and if Reigns can make it to December 15th of this year, he'll have reached 3 whole years without being pinned. To reach that milestone, Reigns will have to get through Logan Paul tomorrow at Crown Jewel, and while the head of the table is expected to retain in Riyadh, the Maverick is promising to give him the fight of his life. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.